children of class 11. I hope you all are fit and fine. In your syllabus, there is a chapter named States of Matter, Liquids and Gases. But in that chapter, mostly we will discuss properties of gases and many extraordinary features or like many characteristics of gaseous state. So in many books or even many teachers say the name of the chapter is what? Gaseous state. Okay. So in this gaseous state, you will learn special behaviors of gases. Okay, special characteristics of gases. All right. But let me just tell you about some basic introduction of states of matter. I hope you all remember that you have learned there are three states of matter, three major states of matter. Okay, solid, liquid, and gases. So when we call any matter that is in solid state or any matter that is in gaseous state, say this is one matter A. Okay, this is one matter A, this is one substance A, and here molecules are also there in that matter. Okay, so there are two tendencies or two forces that are actually being applicable on the molecules of this substance. Okay, the first thing is what I will write: the attraction force between molecules. So I am writing molecular attraction. Okay, Ma. Intermolecular attraction force, what you have learnt about in smaller classes. And another factor I am writing what? Et, escaping tendency. That means inside the container or inside the vessel some molecules are there, or inside the substance some molecules are there. They try to get apart from each other. If they get energy, the tendency gets increased, right? So the tendency to get apart from each other is known as what? Escaping tendency. So if molecular attraction force is greater than escaping tendency, then we call it is an solid. Alright. That is why molecules are closely packed and molecules cannot flow, they are not fluid. If molecular attraction force is equal to escaping tendency, then we call this state liquid state, right? And if molecular attraction force is less than escaping tendency, then it becomes what? In gaseous state. So I hope you understood the basics, okay, that when a substance will be in gaseous state and when a substance will be in solid or liquid state. So certainly if any substance is heated, it gets the energy, so escaping tendency increases. Why? Because the average kinetic energy of the molecules increases. So anyway, in this chapter we have to know some laws, okay, and many of these laws you have learned in your class 9 chemistry as well. Okay, Boyle's law, Charles law. So here I will not discuss about them much, but I will take you to one very important topic, that is the combination of many laws, that is nothing but ideal gas equation. What is the topic? Ideal gas equation. Alright, now I hope you remember from Boyle's law. From Boyle's law, what we have learned? That temperature remaining constant, the volume of a dry gas is inversely proportional to the pressure, right? So what we have learned? V is inversely proportional to pressure, temperature, absolute temperature or temperature remaining constant, right? This is what we have learned from Boyle's law. Then from Charles law, we have what we have learned from Charles law. From Charles law we have learned volume of any dry gas, pressure remaining constant, it is directly proportional to temperature, where P is constant, right? Then from Avogadro's law we have learned, okay, from Avogadro's law states what? That equal volume of all the gases will be having same number of molecules, okay, or say moles, and then we have related this thing to mole. So I can write volume is directly proportional to number of moles. I am saying number of moles, okay. So if number of moles are more, volume is more, temperature and pressure remaining constant, Now combining these three, we can write volume is proportional to N T by P. We can write this. Okay. Now what we can say, volume equals to a constant multiply N T by P, right? Then what we can write from here, volume equals to, sorry, we can take the pressure to this side. Okay, I am writing here only. So what we can write is PV equals to KNT. Okay, now let me tell you that actually P, like K was a constant, right? K was an arbitrary constant here. Okay, K was a constant, right? That is why we have got K here. But what we write, PV equals to nRT. That means I have replaced the constant K by giving R. Now R has a very significant name and it has a very significant, like important significance. Okay. So what is this R? We know R as universal gas constant. Universal gas constant. This is what is R. And this equation PV equals to nRT, this is known as what? Ideal gas equation. PV equals to nRT. Okay, the simpler like way of writing ideal gas equation you have already learnt in class 9 chemistry. I hope you remember, you have done a formula P1 V1 by T1 equals to P2 V2 by T2. All right. This one also represents ideal gas equation, but now we will discuss about this PV equals to nRT. And one thing you have to remember here, this T, like where we have said that, like from Charles' law, volume is directly proportional to temperature, but this T is absolute temperature. Okay, not normal temperature, but absolute temperature. Now, absolute temperature means what? Temperature in Kelvin scale. Right, now everybody knows how to like convert degree Celsius to Kelvin. This like relation everybody knows, Kelvin equals to centigrade plus 273. Right. So till now I hope you have understood what is the ideal gas equation, that PV equals to nRT. Now we will see like the significance of this ideal gas equation. Okay. So we have learned PV equals to nRT is the ideal gas equation, right? Now you know P means what? Pressure. But there are a lots of confusion among the students regarding the units of pressure. Okay. And like while I will be telling you about like PV equals to nRT, I will be telling you about various units of all the terms, and then I will show you how the value of R can be calculated. So the unit of pressure is what? And like let's learn STP also together if you have missed out STP in your like ICSE level. So STP means what? Standard temperature and pressure. So what is the standard pressure? 760 centimeter of mercury, or we say it 1 atmospheric pressure, or we say it what? Sorry, 76 centimeter of mercury, or 760 millimeter of mercury. Okay. Now the confusion starts with three units: bar, torr, and Pascal. So 1.01325 multiply 10 to the power 5 Pascal. This is in Pascal unit. Okay. If I want to write it in bar unit, 1.01325, this is what? Bar. Okay. And if I want to write in torr, it is 760 torr. Okay, so these are the like units of pressure what is mostly used. All right. Well, now V means what? Volume. Okay. So like many of you do not get confused with the units of volume also. Volume we know the most common unit is what? Liter. Okay. So 1 liter equals to 1000 centimeter cube, or 1000 cubic centimeter can be written in this way also, or 1000 ml also can be written, or what can be written is 1 decameter cube, okay, or 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube. So these are the like conversion of volume what you must know. ml cc cubic centimeter same, 1 decameter cube equals to 1 liter and 1 liter equals to 10 to the power minus 3 meter cube. That means 1 meter cube equals to 1000 liter. Alright, so these are the things that you have to know for the conversion of units of volume. Now I have told you about standard pressure here. Now if I say you about standard temperature is what? 0 degree Celsius or 0 plus 273 Kelvin or 273 Kelvin. Alright, so this is the like unit of temperature what you have to use here. Okay, in this equation temperature will always be in Kelvin. So if the temperature is given in degree Celsius, just add what 273 with it to get the Kelvin. Now last but not the least, before I come to R, the universal gas constant, N means what? Number of mole. So we can write mole only, right? So these are the units of the different quantities that are part of this ideal gas equation. Okay, well, now as I said, R is what? Universal gas constant. So R must have some specific particular value, right? So let's calculate this value. So R equals to what we can write from this equation, PV by NT, correct? Now let's calculate the value and unit together. So let's take the pressure, volume and temperature in like standard condition. Okay, so say I am taking pressure is what? Like 1 atmospheric pressure, right? Volume like 1 mole of any gas. 1 mole of any gas occupy what volume? You have learned it in class 10, 22.4 liter. So I can write multiply 22.4 liter. Alright, divided by mole I have taken as 1 mole, and temperature is what? Standard temperature. Just now I have told you that is 273 Kelvin. So I am writing 273 Kelvin. So now if you calculate this part, you will get a data that looks like 0.082 and the unit will be what? See, here you have liter and atmosphere. So I am writing liter atmosphere per mole. So mole inverse and Kelvin inverse. So in liter atmosphere unit, and the value is what? 0.082. And mostly this value is going to be used because the volume will be given in liter and the pressure may be given in other units, but we will try to convert it into atmospheric pressure unit. Okay, but in many cases you may need to use another value, that is 8.314 joule per mole Kelvin. Joule per mole Kelvin. This is as same as mole inverse Kelvin inverse. Okay, or if you want to write it in R unit, 8.314 multiply 10 to the power 7 R. Okay, same thing, per mole per Kelvin. Okay, and there is another unit of energy, that is what? Calorie. In calorie it comes 1.999 something. So I am writing it 2 calorie mole inverse Kelvin inverse. So what are the things to be kept in mind? The value of R, this is most important. Okay, but this 8.314 joule per mole Kelvin, that is also important, and you know 1 joule equal to 10 to the power 7 R. So if you remember this data also can be remembered, and the different units also very important. You cannot do mistake about the units of R and the other quantities also, like I have shown you for pressure, volume, temperature and N for what? Mole, right? So this is all about ideal gas equation. Now this equation looks very small, but various kinds of questions may be set on this like formula. So I will give few examples of those numericals here. Well, so let's start the first numerical on this ideal gas equation. So I have already written the question in front of you. Find the volume. of 16 grams of sulfur dioxide gas at 27 degrees Celsius and 380 millimeter mercury pressure. Okay, so what formula to be used? I have taught only one formula, so you know the formula. The formula is what? PV equals to nRT. Now you know P, you have to calculate V, right? N directly not given, R already you have learned what data to take, and T also given, temperature is also given. Okay, so P is how much? P is given 380 millimeter of Hg. Okay, but if I want to convert it into atmospheric pressure, like 760 millimeter Hg means what? 1 atmospheric pressure. So 1 millimeter Hg is what? 1 by 760 atmospheric pressure. So 380 will be what? 380 by 760. Okay, so I am writing pressure is what? 380 by 760 atmospheric pressure. Okay, then V I have to calculate. Now N means what? Number of moles, but directly number of moles of sulfur dioxide gas is not given. What is given? 16 grams of sulfur dioxide. So to calculate molar mass N, small n, we have a formula also, you can remember that N equals to mass given by molar mass. Okay, so I can write W, that is the mass given or weight, by molar mass. Okay, now molar mass of sulfur dioxide, SO2, right? Sulfur's atomic mass is 32, so 32, and oxygen's atomic mass is what? 16. So 32 plus 2 multiply 16 equals to 64, right? So what is given? 16, and molar mass is what? 64. So this is the value of N, 16 by 64. Now in what value R to be taken? RC. Here volume we want in what unit? Liter unit, because the pressure we have taken in atmospheric unit. So we will take the value 0.082, right? Multiply temperature. Now temperature is given how much? 27 degrees Celsius. We have to convert it into Kelvin. Please remember that temperature will be given in centigrade, but you have to add 273 to the given data to convert it into Kelvin, right? So 27 degrees Celsius equals to 27 plus 273 Kelvin, that is nothing but 300 Kelvin, right? So I am writing here 300. Now we have to calculate from here what? V, because volume needs to be calculated. So see, 16 for the 64, 380 to the 760. So 2 to the 4, 2 150 the 300. So V equals to what? 0.082 multiply 150 liter. Okay. Now if you calculate, you will get the volume. It will come approximately as 15 8 the, okay, 15 to the 30 0, 15 8 the 123 and 12. Okay, so like if I calculate this much, it will come 1.230 liter. Okay, this much it will come. If I have made any mistake in giving the point, you just let me know in the comment section or by personal message. Okay, so volume we have calculated, that is what? 1.230 liter. So I hope you understood how to approach this type of problem from these given data. Okay, directly mole may not be given, R will not be given, R you have to remember, and temperature will be given in centigrade, that you have to convert it into Kelvin. Pressure will be given, but we will convert that into atmospheric pressure. Okay, so I hope you understood this numerical, right? Now let's see the second numerical on ideal gas equation. Find the pressure exerted. So here what we have to calculate? Pressure. Find the pressure exerted by 16 grams of oxygen within bracket ideal gas at 127 degrees Celsius in a container of 10 liter. So temperature is given, volume is given, mass is given, and the gas we know oxygen, so we can calculate mole, and we have to calculate what? Pressure. Now in the previous sum also and in this sum also I have written ideal gas in bracket. Okay, because in real no gas is ideal. Okay, Okay, practically no gas is ideal, but they are real gas, and later on we will learn about real gas equation, okay, or the equation for real gas. All right. So, but we are assuming the gas is here ideal. That is why in the bracket ideal gas is written. Okay. So, how to calculate? Only you know what formula to be applied. PV equals to what? nRT. Now pressure you have to calculate. So I am writing P multiply volume is given 10 liter equals to N. Now 16 grams of oxygen. So N equals to given mass by molecular mass of oxygen 2 multiply 16, that is 0.5, right? Now here also many of the children do the mistake. While writing the molecular mass, they end up writing the atomic mass 16. Okay, but molecular mass of oxygen is 32. 2 multiply 16. There are 2 atoms in one oxygen molecule. So I am writing 0.5 in place of N. Now R what will take? The liter is given. If we take the value of R in 0.082, because this is in liter atmosphere, so we will get the value of pressure in atmospheric pressure unit. Okay, and the temperature is given 127 degrees Celsius. So I will write 273 plus 127, because by adding 273 we can convert them into what? Into that thing, into the Kelvin scale. So pressure equals to what we are writing, just 10 will be divided, so 0.5 multiply 0.082 multiply, this will be 400 divided by 10. So from here you can calculate what is the value of coming for pressure. Okay, and you can let me know what is the value you are getting for pressure. So that much pressure will be exerted by 16 grams of oxygen gas at 127 degrees Celsius in a container of 10 liter. So I hope this numerical is also clear, right? Well, now let's start the third numerical problem on ideal gas equation. Let's read the problem at first. An unknown gas of mass 12 gram, as the gas is unknown, so that is why molecular mass is given. In the previous problem, whether the sulfur dioxide or oxygen, we know them, right? So we can calculate their molar mass. But as here the gas is unknown, the molar mass is given. So an unknown gas of mass 12 gram, molecular mass 120, is kept in a closed vessel at 1 atmospheric pressure and T degree Celsius, right? So a gas, one unknown gas, is kept in a closed vessel at 1 atmospheric pressure and T degree Celsius. Now what is said? If the temperature is increased by 10 degrees Celsius and pressure is increased by 10%, find the value of T, right? So here two situation is there. One is the initial situation, one is the final situation. Okay, so I am writing here I for initial and F for final situation. So like the pressure, one atmospheric pressure. Okay, so here the pressure is what? Initial 1 atmospheric pressure. Now final, what will be the pressure? Pressure has increased by 10%. So 10% of 1 is how much? 0.1. So if 0.1 is increased upon 1, so it will become 1.1 atmospheric pressure, right? Now volume, it is a closed vessel, right? So in a closed vessel, the volume is what? Always constant. Be it open vessel, be it closed vessel, volume is constant. Please keep this thing in the mind. Okay, let's consider open vessel and closed vessel, because afterwards also the concept of open vessel and closed vessel will come. So I am clearing it right now. In open vessel, like volume is constant. In closed vessel is also volume is constant. Now you may think that if a vessel is there like this and it is open, then if we heat it, then what will happen? The gas molecules will go out, but the volume is not being changed. What is going out? Now, like molecules are going out, right? So number of moles will be changed. Okay, so volume is constant, right? Temperature is also constant in open vessel. If we heat it, then temperature will be changed, right? And in closed vessel is also temperature is constant. So be it open vessel, be it closed vessel, volume and temperature is constant. Now in open vessel, another thing is constant, pressure is also constant. So what is the variable? As I told you, number of mole is the variable in open vessel. Similarly, in closed vessel, the molecules cannot go out of the vessel, so n must be constant. Okay, but what may be the variable? Pressure will be the variable for closed vessel. Okay, so get this concept in your mind. In open vessel, pressure, volume, temperature constant, number of mole is the variable. In a closed vessel, volume, temperature and number of mole is constant, but pressure is variable. Okay, so pressure we have written 1 atmospheric pressure and 1.1 atmospheric pressure. As the vessel is closed, volume is constant, right? So V and V I am writing. Now let's come to temperature. Okay, so temperature is initial condition T plus 273 Kelvin, right? And in the final condition 10 degrees Celsius it has increased, so it will be T plus 10 plus 273 in Kelvin unit, right? So this is the initial pressure. Okay, this is the initial and final volume, and this is the initial and final temperature, right? So I hope you understood the initial and final conditions of pressure, volume and temperature. And as it is closed vessel, okay, your number of mole n is also constant. Here is also n, here is also n, right? Now what we will do is we will apply the ideal gas equation PV equals to nRT in both the conditions to get two equations. Okay, so I am writing from the first one. The equation we know, PV equals to what? nRT. So for the first case, or for the initial condition, I am writing 1 multiply V equals to nRT plus 273. Let's say this is equation 1. And what we can write from the second situation or the final condition, 1.1 multiply V equals to nRT plus 273 plus 10, right? Let's say this is the equation 2. Okay, now if we just divide 2 by 1, then what will be at the top? 1.1 V divided by 1 V equals to nRT plus 283 divided by nRT plus 273, right? Now you see your nr gets cancelled, v gets cancelled. Okay, so what remains is only remains the relation with t, right? So what we can write is t plus, from here we can write, okay, from here we can write t plus 283 divided by t plus 273 equals to 1.1 divided by 1. Now from here you can do cross multiplication and you can easily find out the value of t. If you calculate, the value of t should come minus 173 degrees Celsius. Okay, you calculate and check. According to my prediction, it will be minus 173 degrees Celsius, or you check it out. So I hope you understood. If two different situations are given, then how to approach, right? You take out two separate conditions, right? Corresponding P, V, T and number of mole, and then you make two equations and you operate as per the need. I hope this numerical is also clear to you, and don't forget to let me know what value you are getting for T. Okay children? Numerical number 4. Let's read the problem. An open vessel. Just now I have discussed about the concept of open vessel and closed vessel. So here another problem to make the concept more clear. Okay, an open vessel contains air at 27 degrees Celsius. After heating, 1/3 of the air escapes. Find the temperature up to what that air was heated. Now open vessel, right? So what are the things were constant? pressure was constant, volume was also constant, and temperature is variable, we have to calculate, and number of mole is also variable, right? Because 1/3 of the gas escaped, right? So here also let's consider two situations. In the initial condition, please understand it very nicely. In the initial condition, the air was there in the vessel, no heat was given. But what was the final condition after giving the heat? So let's write similarly initial condition, final condition, right? Pressure and volume is constant. So I am writing P and V. Okay, there is no change in P and V. So the first change is what? In N. If initially there were n number of moles, then finally after 1/3 of n is escaped. So 1/3n, this is 1/3 of n that escaped. Okay. So what is remaining? N minus 1/3n, that is what? 2/3n. So the finally the number of mole will be 2/3n, right? Initially the temperature is 273 plus 27 Kelvin. Finally we have to calculate. Let's take it as big T. Okay, now we will apply like ideal gas equation and we will find out. Okay, so I am writing two equations. PV equals to nRT. Here the T is how much? 300, right? So here I am writing 300. Let it be the equation 1. And from the second equation what we can write is PV is constant, so 2/3n R and let's say a big T, right? So this is what is equation 2. So again let's divide 2 by 1. So if we do 2 divided by 1, what we will get is like, I am writing the right hand side at first. So 2/3 NR gets cancelled, 2/3 T was there, so here 300 will come, 3 multiply 300 equals to PV by PV, that is what? 1, right? So 2 NR got cancelled, 2T by 3 multiply 300, so from here what we can get is 2, 150 the 300, so T equals to 450 Kelvin, right? So what will be the answer in centigrade? If it is asked in centigrade, 450 minus 273 degrees Celsius. So if you just subtract, you will get the value in degrees Celsius. What will be the answer? 177 degree Celsius, right? So I hope you understood how to solve this type of numerical. As I said, here by looking at this sum you will think there cannot be two situations, but here also before hitting the initial condition and after hitting the final condition, right? So I hope you understood this numerical also very perfectly, right? Well, let's see the next numerical. Okay. As we are discussing the fifth numerical, I have tried to make the language a little different. I would not say it is difficult, but it is a little different language. So let's read what difference is there. So 10 grams of ethane, that is C2H6, is filled in a bulb of 1 liter capacity. Bulb means what you know? Let's say this is a bulb. Okay. Bulb means something like a closed container. Okay, closed container of a glass. Okay. Bulb which can withstand a maximum pressure of 10 atmospheric pressure, right? So what will happen if more pressure than 10 atmospheric pressure is given? It will burst, it will be broken. So what you have to calculate, at what temperature pressure of the gas will reach the bursting limit. So at what temperature the pressure will be what? Equal to 10 atmospheric pressure. So pressure you know, from here it is 10 atmospheric pressure. Volume is also given, volume is 1 liter. Okay. Now mass of the C2H6 is given. So from there N also you can calculate, 10 by, now C2H6, right? Carbon is 12. So 2 multiply 12 and hydrogen is how much? 1, but 6 atoms are there. So 6 multiply 1. So it will be 10 divided by 30. So N is what? 10 divided by 30. R you have to take as 0.082, okay, liter atmosphere per mole Kelvin, okay, because the pressure and temperature they are in atmospheric and liter unit respectively. So now we have to calculate what? T. So very easy, PV equals to nRT, right? So pressure is 10, volume is 1, N is 1 by 3, 10 by 30 means 1 by 3, R is 0.082 multiply T. From here you calculate T, whatever you will get that will be in Kelvin unit. Now whatever you get, if you subtract minus 273 from there, you will get in degree centigrade. So you can complete this numerical by on your own and let me know the answer. Okay children, so I hope you understood the language. The pressure of the gas will reach the bursting limit, so the pressure will be 10 atmospheric pressure, right? Well, now we have to discuss one very important concept, that is what? Absolute density. That means we will try to relate the ideal gas equation into density. So let's start. We know from ideal gas equation PV equals to what? nRT, right? Now I have told you PV equals to N, the mole can be written as given mass by molar mass. Given mass I am denoting by W and molar mass I am denoting by capital M. So W by M RT. Now from here I am writing PM equals to W by V. M I have taken in the place of V I have brought down. W by V RT, right? So PM equals to W is what? Mass. V is what? Volume. So mass by volume is what? Mass. W is mass, V is volume. Mass by volume is nothing but density, dRT. So from here what we can say, D equals to PM by RT. So this is what we call absolute density, and this is the formula of density. D equals to what? PM by RT. Okay. So let's do a small numerical on this. Suppose this small numerical is given. Find the density of carbon dioxide at 127 degrees Celsius and 2 atmospheric pressure. Okay. So what we have to do, we know the formula, that is what? D equals to PM by RT, right? Now P is given 2 atmospheric pressure. Now M was what? M was molar mass, right? So carbon dioxide is molar mass is how much? Tell me. By this time you have to remember the molar mass of carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon is 12, okay, and oxygen is 16, right? Atomic mass. So 2 multiply 16, so it comes 44. So 2 multiply 44 divided by 0.082 liter atmospheric pressure, because we have taken the unit of pressure in atmospheric unit, multiply temperature. Okay, so temperature will be what? This was M of carbon dioxide, and temperature will be 273 plus 127, that is 400 Kelvin, right? So 400. So from here if you just calculate, you can easily find out the density of carbon dioxide. So this one also you perform it on your own and let me know the result. Okay, now whenever I am leaving this thing blank, you should not leave it blank, because you should be practicing the calculation. Alright, so I hope you understood till here. Thank you.